All right, today we are diving into something really fascinating. It's a parable called The Kinetic Sovereign and the Refractive Citadel. And yeah, the title is a mouthful, but it hints at this awesome story about two very different kinds of power. The power of movement and the power of reflection. It's this wild blend of dragons, deep philosophy, and even physics to explore what happens after you win.
So the story kicks off right after our hero, Maximus, has just won this massive victory. He's defeated the Crimson Dragon. But this opening line, wow, it tells you everything. He's not popping champagne, he's staring down into the abyss like an engineer sizing up a problem. This immediately lets us know that the physical fight, that was just the warm-up. The real challenge, the one he's just beginning to understand, is way, way bigger.
So how did he even win that first battle? Well, that brings us to the first huge idea in this story, the Sovereign's first pivot. See, Maximus didn't just overpower the spirit of gravity that was trying to crush him. No, he outsmarted it. He fundamentally changed the rules of the game.
And this slide right here shows you the difference perfectly. On one side, you have the last men. They're spending every ounce of their energy just fighting against their own fall. It's a struggle, right? But Maximus, he does the exact opposite. He leans into it. He embraces what the story calls the Untergang, the descent, the downfall. He doesn't resist the force pulling him down, he decides to use it.
And this is his secret weapon. It's called inverted passive descent. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but the idea is actually pretty profound. He basically flips his whole perspective, his whole being, upside down. He stops being this fragile ego fighting a force, and he becomes a sovereign projectile. He's literally harvesting energy from the very thing that was supposed to destroy him. He's not just surviving the fall, he's weaponizing it. Incredible.
So, Maximus wins. The spirit of gravity is defeated, the dragon's gone. You'd think it's time for the credits to roll, right? Nope. His victory actually creates a brand new problem. And honestly, it's way more dangerous. A new threat is literally rising from the ashes of his success.
And then this new character shows up, the architect of the mirror. And he hits Maximus with this absolutely chilling question. The challenge is no longer about surviving failure, it's about surviving success. And this, right here, is the big twist of the whole story. The enemy outside is gone. So, what do you do with yourself now?
So what in the world is this vortex ring state? The story uses a really powerful analogy. Picture a helicopter trying to hover. If it's not careful, it can get caught in its own turbulent air, its own downwash, and it starts to lose lift. Well, in this philosophical version, it's your will, your ambition that gets trapped. Instead of pushing forward, it just gets stuck in this loop of self-obsession. Think about it like scrolling through your own social media feed forever. Success actually leads to total stagnation.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly for everybody else in this story. Look at this cycle. They take the spoils of war, these dragon scales, and what do? Instead of building something new, they build little reflective prisons for themselves. They just get stuck staring at their own reflection, their past glories, and they end up, well, hovering in their own exhaust, going absolutely nowhere. It's a pretty scary metaphor when you think about it.
Okay, so Maximus has a new fight on his hands. But this new battlefield, it isn't physical at all. It's a psychological labyrinth. It's a battle of perception, of focus. He has to go down into the abyss again, but this time, the rules are completely and terrifyingly different.
Welcome to the Refractive Citadel, and the key detail here is what it's made of, obsidian and glass. It's not built to crush you with physical weight like the first challenge. Oh no, this place is designed to trap you with infinite reflections, with infinite distraction. It's a prison for your mind.
This taunt from the architect is so important. Maximus's old strategy, his raw power, his lightning, is now worse than useless. It's a liability. If he tries to just smash his way through these glass walls, he's just going to be blinded by his own reflection. The very thing that made him so powerful before is now his greatest weakness.
This slide really boils it down for us. It shows the massive shift in the kind of trial he's facing. He started with a trial of the body, a fight against a force of negation, something that wants to crush you. But now he's facing a trial of the spirit, a fight against a force of reflection, something that wants to trap you with endless images of yourself.
So, how do you fight that? He needs a totally new weapon, a new protocol. And it's not a protocol of force, it's a protocol of perspective. He has to change not just what he does, but how he sees everything.
And that leads us to the absolute core question of this whole second half of the story. I mean, how do you navigate a house of mirrors when brute force is completely off the table? How do you fight an enemy that's literally made of your own reflection?
His answer is just brilliant. It's so counterintuitive. He realizes he can't be a static target. His solution is what the text calls yaw rate modulation. What does that mean? Basically, he decides to vibrate, to rotate his will, his perspective, at such an insanely high speed that he never sees the same reflection twice. He's moving so fast that the reflective prison can't even lock onto him.
Let's just break that down really quick. The goal here is basically a three-part plan. First, avoid being a static target for all that distraction. Second, by moving so fast, he literally changes the way he perceives the geometry of the labyrinth itself. And third, and this is the most critical part, he's aiming to move faster than that vortex of self-reflection, that philosophical VRS we talked about, can even begin to form. He's literally outrunning the trap.
So he's got his new protocol, his new plan. He's ready. It's time for the final calculation. The leap into the obsidian labyrinth itself, a place where all his old strengths are completely meaningless.
And this line, this is the single most important evolution of his character in the whole story. Remember in the first descent, he was harvesting gravity, a physical force. This time, as he plummets into the Citadel of Glass, he's harvesting information. He's not looking for power anymore. He's looking for the truth that exists beyond all those empty reflections.
And that's where the parable leaves us. It hangs in the air with this haunting question. And sure, it's a question for Maximus, but it's really a question for all of us, isn't it? Can the dynamic, shifting perspective of one focused person move faster than the infinite reflections and distractions of our digital age? Can we outspin the vortex of our own success? The refractive citadel awaits.